Everyone, it's Mr. G again with the next rocks lesson that we have for today. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, okay? And yesterday, the 26th, we started the Metamorphic Rocks, right? We started Metamorphic Rocks, and that was the third rock type that we have, right? It was igneous, sedimentary, and then metamorphic, okay? And all those rocks are made out of minerals. So now metamorphic rocks, just to review, the term metamorphic or metamorphism means to change. So these rocks changed into other kinds of rocks. That's where the term metamorphic rock comes from because, again, metamorphic means to change. And there are two kinds of metamorphic rocks, okay? Or I should say they're formed in two different ways. There's regional metamorphism, right? That happens over a large area, and it happens with mainly pressure, right? Like a mountain range, you could have convergent plate boundaries, and when they crash into each other, it creates a lot of pressure, and it pushes up mountains like this, right? Pushes up the mountains. So in a mountain range over a large area, you'll find a lot of regional metamorphic rocks. And the other kind of metamorphic rock is contact metamorphism, right? Contact metamorphism is when the one rock, okay, comes in contact with either magma or lava. And that magma or lava is very hot, of course, and therefore it can cook the rock. It cooks it. It changes it. Just like when you make eggs, right? You crack an egg open and you scramble it all up and it's all gooey and snotty and just, right? But then when you heat it up, it changes into something different, right? Same kind of thing. But contact metamorphism happens over a small area, right? Over an area where there might be just like one volcano or just some magma coming out of the ground, right? So a relatively small area. And it occurs with contact with magma or lava. So today's lesson, I re-gave you the Metamorphic Rocks pages here for today's lesson, but I've added this last one, page 23. Okay. Yesterday, we talked about the top half of the chart. Right? So, for example, the top half here of the chart, right? Because here's the reference table chart, right? But we have two halves, foliated and non-foliated, right? So I just took the top half for now, the foliated half, okay? And notice how this arrow goes down. And slate, right, with more heat and pressure will turn into phyllite. Phyllite with more heat and pressure will turn into schist, and so on. And so I kind of displayed that here, how these rocks can change with more pressure that's applied. Okay, notice how it starts out like this, but ultimately, if there's enough pressure, it ends up looking like this here at the bottom. We've already gone over how we read this chart. We go straight across, right? And over here to the right, this is what the rock looks like. Well, let me rephrase that. This is not what the rock looks like necessarily. This is what the symbol of the rock looks like, okay? So, slate doesn't look like this. This is just the symbol for it. Gneiss, well, sometimes gneiss can look a little bit like this, right? But not always. So these are just symbols for what the rock looks like. Okay. Now, if you notice, slate only has mica in it, right? Either biotite mica or muscovite mica, right? But then as you go down, different crystals start to form. For example, here, phyllite will contain garnet, amphibole, feldspar, quartz, and mica. And then all the way down at the bottom, gneiss will have all those mineral crystals, but in addition, it will also have pyroxene. Okay? You go straight across. All right. Now, the bottom half of the chart is the same thing. It's the same thing in the sense that this is how we read it. We read it the same way. Right? These are the symbols over here, like the rock hornfels. That's the name of it, hornfels. Well, hornfels doesn't have a bunch of H's in it, right? There's no rock that has a bunch of H's in it. If you find a rock that has a bunch of H's in it that form naturally, save it, because that's going to be worth a lot of money. But mostly, no. Doesn't have any H's in it. Okay, so again, these are just symbols. But you read it the same way. You go straight across. Marble is made from either limestone or dolostone. It can happen through either regional or contact metamorphism, two different ways, and you'll read that in here. Okay. It contains the minerals calcite or dolomite, has a fine to coarse texture, and is non-foliated. Okay, so what you're going to do is, if you need to, you could read these 2 pages again just to make sure that you understand what metamorphic rocks are. I added this last page, page 23, that has an explanation here of how to read the bottom half of the chart. But again, we're pretty smart, right? We have a pretty good idea how to read these charts now. Okay, so good. So based on what you learned yesterday, based on what you're going to learn today, when you look at this chart and read this one little tiny paragraph, you can answer these 5 questions here. Okay, answer those 5 questions. Boom, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Good. I heard everybody say it. Lemon squeezy. Good. Okay, everybody. So this will be due tomorrow. All right, easy questions, right? Only 5 questions. So this will be due tomorrow. And I hope everyone's staying safe. I hope that somebody out there is enjoying today. It's nice outside, so hopefully you got a chance to be outside safely anyway. Okay? All right. Talk to everybody tomorrow.